Motor skills are an important indicator of overall development in the first 12 months of life. There is a typical developmental sequence for motor development, and we're looking to observe and facilitate this development in infants. For every skill, there is a range of individual variation that the skill is typically achieved. We can assist typical development by understanding important positioning and handling strategies during that developmental period. So from 0 to 4 months, the things that we're sort of looking for are bonding is very important. In that very early period is the most important thing is that relationship between the caregiver and the baby. Head control is also really important. Early on at 0, we need to be providing lots of positioning and support, and as the baby reaches 4 months, they should have fairly good head control and need really more support for trunk control. Midline control is the other really important topic that we're talking about during this period, and that's the control of the eyes and the head and the hands towards the midline. So we like a baby to be able to hold their head in midline and bring their head from their side back to the middle, to be able to bring their hands to their mouth by about 6 to 8 weeks, and to be able to hold their head and their eyes in the middle. During this period, our movement patterns are mostly symmetrical, and the early period is dominated by movement patterns and reflexes. In regard to our vision, we're learning to hold our eyes in the middle, and we're learning to track side to side and up and down. We're responding to light and light sources, attending to the mother's or carer's face, following a slow moving object horizontally and vertically. And visual preference will start with black and white and patterns, and then moving on to coloured patterns. Our hands are held more in a flexion pattern, and we have random arm movements which become more controlled during that period. We've got a reflexive grasp, and we're beginning to have whole hand grasp when a hand toy touches a hand. We don't have a voluntary release during this period yet. The things we can do to facilitate during this period, floor time is really important. So that is both lying on back on the floor, lying on tummy, and some side lying positions. Initially, positioning in the midline is important. So showing positions to encourage early social interactions and engagement, supporting a neutral head position. If children are having difficulty with midline, placing objects, furniture and people so that they are more enticed to bring their hands back to the middle. On the floor, we're helping them bring their hands to the middle, helping them bring their hands to their knees and their feet, and providing appropriate toys and objects that suit the infant's hand size, hanging toys, so that the child will grasp and swat at those toys. Tummy time is really important right from the beginning, and this is a challenging position for all babies. We're getting the beginnings of our neck extension in this position, and we're learning to weight bear through our shoulder girdle, and this skill is necessary for all their later skills that we develop. Often that baby might only be able to maintain that position for a very short period of time initially, and as they get stronger, they will maintain that position and change and develop and mature their skills in this position. Sometimes initially we'll suggest lying on a parent's chest, and sometimes lying over a parent's knee, or rolling up a towel and popping it under the chest, just to give the child a little bit more clearance in those early days when they haven't got the neck strength.
Babies begin to listen and orientate towards a familiar adult. Babies will quieten when picked up by their familiar person. They will watch that person's mouth and eyes and really respond to them. Babies begin to develop a social smile in response to stimulation from their familiar caregiver. They respond to being spoken to, they wiggle their bodies and wave their arms and legs in response. Babies will cry when they are hungry or uncomfortable. They often startle to unexpected noises. They respond to their familiar adult by cooing and gurgling when spoken to. Babies like to inspect and look at their hands. They find them fascinating. Babies will be intrigued by and watch moving objects, such as wind in the trees. Babies will grab at an adult's fingers with a tight grasp. Babies process black and white patterns much better than they do coloured. At this age group, babies will fixate on light sources and large objects. Their arms activate and get excited at the sight of toys. Tummy time is really important at this stage. From 0 to 2, babies are placed on their tummy with their elbows further out to the side. But by 3 months, they are able to bring their elbows in and be able to lift and turn their heads. When placed on their back, baby will often turn their head from side to side. But by 3 months of age, the baby is able to keep his or her head in midline. By 3 months, the baby's eyes are straight and they move together in all directions. Babies nap frequently during this stage. What type of physical environment should be provided at this age from birth to 4 months? Babies like to have frequent naps, but between these times it's important to give them a chance to become familiar with their world. The parent is their baby's favourite toy. Talk with your baby, ask them about their sleep and talk to them about what will happen in their day or what has happened in their day. Your baby will respond by cooing and babbling and waving her arms and legs about excitedly. Feeding time is time to connect. The baby will watch her carer's face and hold tightly onto her carer's finger, absorbing all that is being said to her. Playtime is really important. Tummy time, side lying and time on her back. Interacting with toys, grasping at a rattle, watching the wind outside, or a mobile that she can attempt to bat at, or a kicker that she can attempt to kick. All these things help her learn that she can use her body to make things move or to make a sound. Babies love to hear the melodic sound of reading. What kind of activities would be appropriate in the 0 to 4 month age group? Singing nursery rhymes, reading books, side lying, reflections in a mirror, or sharing a book with a special person. Time on baby's back, watching a mobile, attempting to bat it with her hands. Remember baby's feet. Provide opportunities for babies to kick at something, a ball or the end of the couch, or a baby kicker. It gives baby an idea of where their body is in space. Cuddles, talking and bonding with your baby. What kinds of toys would be suitable for the 0 to 4 age group? Toys that are predominantly black and white patterned. Overhead mobiles that baby can touch and swipe at. At 4 months of age, babies are more intentional with their movement. They will reach for a favourite toy, they will deliberately swipe at a preferred object hanging from a mobile, and they realise that their hands can activate a toy.